everybody. It's Arnika Frazier-Jackson, Director for Student Professional Development Programs at UNCF, and you are tuned in to According to Portia.
Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Portia Monique, and today I'll be your host. And today we're sitting down with a powerhouse who is shaping the future of Black leadership, Arnika D. Frazier-Jackson, Director of Student Professional Development Programs at United Negro College Fund, the visionary behind one of the most impactful pipelines preparing HBCU talent for global success. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Portia. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Now, before we begin and dive right into your questions, I want to know about your journey to getting to where you are today. What did that look like? What was your background, your schooling? And then how did you know that you wanted to become the director of student professional development at UNCF?
Wow. Well, I would have to say the journey was really a lot of taking chances on myself. I started on the highest of 7 hills at the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, majoring in public relations, and got my master's integrated marketing and communication management from Florida State University. And I actually started off for a healthcare insurance company. And I was a business analyst trying to figure out, the country was turning 65. It was 2011, right? Imagine, this 20-something-year-old planning what 65 products would look like. When it was time for me to come on board full time, I wasn't hired. And I didn't understand why, because I had helped build this amazing program. We had done all of this research and they used, what I had created and build an entire platform. And so from there, I really had to take a step back to see if I really wanted to be in the corporate world. Is this something that I really wanted to do? The answer was no. I started as an Enrolls intern. And so I went back to my roots. I started to do some research on, what did it mean to really go through those trainings as an intern and working with these Fortune 500 companies. And so I decided that I wanted to turn for-profit into nonprofit as far as, working and trying to figure out how I could better playing field, if you would say. I started working with the Gates Millennium Scholars Program at UNCF. From there, just kind of took a trajectory on betting on myself on some of the things that UNCF had to offer. So I worked on their Empower Me tour for a little while and then brought them into the new century with doing online community learning for students. And then from there, landed the PandaCare Scholars Program, which I really had an opportunity to build a robust programming for students from their freshman year to their senior year, learning more about what career trajectory looks like, right? I always tell students, coming from very humble beginnings, a lot of the career paths that I knew were preacher, teacher, lawyer, or doctor. Right. And there are so many other opportunities out there that we just don't know about. And so what we started to do was career exploration. So they were learning about going in the entertainment industry and seeing that scouting, if you love to travel, is actually a very lucrative job, or looking into aviation and looking at an analyst and learning, what to do in that field. And so it kind of took off from there, and I started a little bit more recognition and landed as a director for student professional development program. So a lot of learning along the way, but it really did start, the genesis started with me wanting to figure out how to give back and to get more people that look like me in boardrooms to make decisions.
Wow, what a ride. And thank you to saying no to corporate America, right? They do stuff like that and then, expect you to be okay with, them taking your project that you birthed and running with it without you. Now, on to your job as Director of Student Professional Development Programs at UNCF. Briefly, what do you do? What are you responsible for? And how do you make your mark?
Sure. So I work building out the actual programming that we offer for students. And
Got
so
it.
think about thing from our online community where students are learning to upskill up and doing all those things, the soft skills that are needed in industry,
Mhm.
to actually managing a couple of programs myself, one
Yeah.
being with the Walt Disney Company with the Disney Enhanced Scholars Program. And so pretty much, I guess, in a bow, what I do, but it's a
Yeah.
lot that goes along with that.
Yeah, we can imagine. We can imagine. Now, this year marks year 17 of the UNCF Student Leadership Conference. What does
Yes.
that kind of longevity say about the evolving needs as well as the power of HBCU students today?
Absolutely. So the program actually started in the K-12 space. And so it was really to help educators go into the classrooms and be better prepared. And so as it has evolved, it really has become a learning environment. And so students are being able to sit down with executives, learn from them in our Meet the Executives panel. They're able to do a business simulation where they think they are working on presentation present to the executives, but actually we're putting them through some of the things that they will experience as they are their internships. So think
Got it.
of the multi generations that are in the workforce now on projects and budgets and different things of that nature. So we throw them into all of those different types of scenarios, and at the end, we bring it all together to share with them what they've been through and to also give them kudos for the things that they were able to accomplish during that time.
Yeah.
It has been amazing seeing how well these HBCU students show up in that space. And that
Hmm.
really has led to the growth of the program, is because we're able to put corporate executives in the room, not just to tell them about the HBCU student, but for them to actually experience
Yeah.
what it's like working with a student that attends an
Hmm.
HBCU.
I love it. And speaking of growth, there will be over 220 students attending this year, the largest cohort yet. This year's theme is Leadership Beyond the Title, Voice, Influence, and Impact. That especially feels timely. What
Mhm.
inspired that theme, and how are you challenging students to redefine leadership on their own terms?
Absolutely. So we wanted the students to think about themselves as a brand, right? And so not just thinking of, okay, holding a title of intern, what does the brand of you say? And so that's one of the meanings of going beyond the title. But then also with social media and now all the things that are happening in the country, these students really do have a voice. And so we're helping them to cultivate that voice so that as they are going on to these platforms, they're being impactful and intentional about what they're sharing and how they're sharing, because the words that they have to provide are very powerful. And
Hmm.
so we are leaning into that as we work with them, even before they get to the actual conference. So there's some pre-work that we'll do with them, to better prepare them as they get on site to understand all of what we're putting them into, because now it's a global environment. It's not just
Hmm.
something that you look at, from the US, and we're learning that, in real time.
Yeah, yeah. How do students find out about this program, and what are the qualifications?
In order for students to be eligible for the Student Leadership Conference, they would have had to have applied for one of our internship programs or be a part of one of our flagship programs at UNCF. And
Hmm.
so that would look like in the fall, I have a heavy recruitment season, multiple partners, over 20 partners are looking for internships through UNCF. And so we open up different applications as well as a general internship application that students can apply to. Most of those applications open on the first of
Okay.
every year. And so from there, once the students are selected, which is normally during the holidays, then we start to get them prepped and ready in the new year to come to
Hmm.
the actual conference.
I love it. Now, you guys have reimagined what career exposure can look like,
Mhm.
but how do your programs go beyond traditional internships to truly transform a student's trajectory?
Absolutely. So we do the holistic approach. So we look at mental health and wellness for students. We also do immersion in the cities that they're in. And so it's not just going and doing the internship and going back to your that you're staying in. We try to get them to go to baseball games that are in the city. We have professionals that are in the area to come and do different symposiums with the students so they can really understand what it means to be a full-time professional and actually hear from folks that are working in that particular industry and beyond in the city. So if it's something that they're looking to be hired and going to that particular company, they'll be well versed in the areas that they're interning in.
Now, you mentioned this earlier in the interview that you are a proud graduate of the Florida A&M University.
Yes, ma'am.
How did your own HBCU experience shape the leader and architect that you are today?
Well, I have to give credit a lot to one of my professors who recently just retired. Her name was Gina Kinchlow, and she really made us think beyond what was in the book. And I think that that's something that any person that attends an HBCU will tell you is that the experience that you get goes beyond the text. So you have professors that really care about you. I actually, when I got to FAM, did not major in public relations. I was actually majoring in broadcast journalism. And I had a class with Professor Kinchlow. She asked me what I wanted to do and then asked me why was I majoring in broadcast journalism when it actually is public relations. And so it's, that give you what you need, community. What I love about being a proud alum of Florida A&M University is that there always someone in wherever you're going, not even in the States. If you go abroad, there's someone that's wearing orange and green that is there to help you and a community that you can lean on. And then not just for my institution, but anyone that goes to an HBCU, it's kind of like that family. It's a distant cousin, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm always there to lend a helping hand. But I will say that the experience that you get at a HBCU helps you to understand that you have the expectation of excellence. And so you cannot go in thinking that you can dress any kind of way. Professors, you dress up and show up the way that you want to, show out in that classroom. The actions that, not, an option, A's and B's only, especially if you want to be involved on a campus activity, which I was involved in some of everything. And then making sure, that you really are being the person that you want the world to see at all times because you never know who's watching. So what I would say about my HBCU experience. And then it goes beyond just, those 4 years.
Yeah. I love HBCU experiences. I am a proud alum of Grambling University. And so all of the young people that I know, I highly encourage them to go off to an HBCU for undergrad. If you have an opportunity to do, another university for undergrad, that's fine. But I would encourage you to go for undergrad. If that's not a possibility, go for grad school. Like you have to experience it at least once in your life because, like you said, it makes you expect excellence and give in any and everything that you do. So yeah.
Absolutely. I imagine where my life would be had I not gone to an HBCU, and that speaks volumes.
Yes, it does. Now, last question for you. As this year's conference ends and those students step into their internships, what does success look like for you? And not just for them, but for the legacy of this program?
Success looks like them understanding that this opportunity is not just for them, it's for the person that comes after them. Success looks like them being able to hold ground when they're going into meetings and speak assertively, understanding that what they have to offer is needed because they were hired to be there. Success is making sure that they understand that they can show up as their authentic selves and that they have a superpower that nobody else has and no one can take away from them. And then going beyond that, it is potentially getting hired with that particular company or being offered to come back as an intern.
I love it. And as we bring this interview to a close, I just want to say that I am so happy and grateful that you said no to corporate America early because Now, here you are shepherding the next generation and the generation after that, and ensuring that we are expecting a level of excellence from these participants, HBCUs, and everyone around you. So I commend you from being excellent from the classroom to the boardroom and ensuring that this next generation doesn't enter the workforce, they lead it. So please tell us, where can we find more information? Where can we follow you? And if we have students, where to sign up?
Absolutely. So you can always go to opportunities with an s.uncf.org. It will have all of the opportunities that UNCF has to offer: internships, fellowships, and scholarships, because school is expensive. And if you're looking to find out more about student professional development programs, you can find us on LinkedIn at Student Professional Development Programs, UNCF Student Professional Development Programs, as well as on LinkedIn SPDP. And then you can find me, Arnika Jackson, on Instagram, and I will also share my journey as I go and find the next cohort of students. I love to take folks with me on all the HBCU campuses so they can see the beauty of each one of the schools and learn a little bit more about them as I go through my travels.
I love it. Miss Arnika D. Frazier-Jackson, thank you so much for your time and participating in today's talk. We appreciate you and we look forward to following your journey and ensuring that we are overlooking the students that you're helping as well. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Portia. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.